COVID-19 alert. Are you doing it right? Are you wearing your mask? Are you doing what you're told? Are you compliant? Are you? Well, California, you don't even have a choice to be compliant. They don't even give you rules how to, function in a normal society, how to take the proper protocols to engage life. They just say shut down and keep people out of your home and don't have Thanksgiving, don't have Halloween. But yeah, that's how we roll. But Arizona's free. But there's onlookers. There's a lot of onlookers. Speaking of onlookers, we have Cronkite News. This is a story done by Aaron Bradley James. And he says, COVID-19, safety a priority as youth soccer returns, yet concerns about compliance remains. Who's concerned? Well, I wonder who's concerned. Look at the beautiful photo of this whole separation of those who have and those who have not. When I say who have, for the ones watching on my YouTube channel, go to youtube.com/Coach Cameron Soccer. Subscribe, and you'll be able to see the video portion. If you're just on the audio, you can see the video of all the wonderful video I show. It's beautiful. What we're seeing right now is this grass and these lines that are just separating families by 6 feet of separation, so they know where to be, because they don't know what 6 feet are. That's just how they do things. But this is how you're allowed to hold a tournament in Arizona. You follow protocols. You have your hand sanitizer. You have the mask. You're doing the things you need to do to be safe. Are we safe? Are we really safe from COVID-19? Are we? I don't think so. We're just hiding in a lot of places. Like California is hiding from the reality of COVID-19. The people will not stop engaging one another. It's not going to happen. Sports will move on. Life will move on. It just happens to be in different segments or hidden. You can't prohibit human beings from doing what they do, and you can't take their livelihood away. I mean, every tournament shutdown is taking livelihood away from somebody. Jobs are lost. Funds are lost. Everything life just becomes more difficult, because the economy does matter, whether it's your individual economy or the world economy or your community's economy. And for us, luckily in Arizona, our economy is not as bad as California, which sucks. And I'm so glad I don't live there. I'm truly blessed I don't live there. And I apologize for all of my California listeners. I feel for you. What you're going through is pathetic. There's no science behind what they're doing, but that's another conversation. Oh, I just got this YouTube video banned from the 55 views it'll get in the next couple of days. Yeah, that'll be 0. I had one of my videos have 0 views. That's not even a possibility, but it did, because I was talking about California. You can't do that. Can't be mean about California and what they're doing, because their science is real. Reading on. Well, I haven't really started, but I'm going to start reading now. Phoenix. With the Arizona sun shining, players scored goals, officials blew whistles, and spectators cheered as youth soccer took center stage at the recent 2020 Arsenal Challenge tournament at sports complexes around the valley. They also used, listen to this, hand sanitizers. They wore masks and socially distanced, because this is what sports looks like during the COVID-19 era. Does it? I love how we're doing these things. We're doing these things. We're safe to do it. Everyone has it like create this whole facade of, this is what we're doing. We're following protocols. Everyone's gonna be safe. And none of this is gonna stop this virus. None of it. You know what stops the virus? Freaking a real mask. These masks, these cloth masks. Now we're hearing that cloth. Here's another reason my YouTube video get pulled. Because the wording I'm using, it's we don't know how the cloth masks are working. It's not as good as the super masks, those ones from Outbreak, the movie, where those N95 masks, and the percentages we're hearing aren't good. Best thing to do is hide, like Joe Biden, in a basement and just don't come out. If you can't get sick, just frickin' hide. And wear an N95 mask indoors and stay away from everybody. The only time to take the N95 mask off is in between bites of your food, according to California. That's how you're going to celebrate Thanksgiving. Mask biting. It's insane what they're going through. Anyways, so we put this whole facade on about how we're going to be safe. So we don't get shut down, because it is scary, because you could lose your livelihood, but, that doesn't matter. More than 450 teams, boys and girls under 7 to U19, coverage in Phoenix area to compete, test their skills, and hopefully raise a trophy in triumph. Many came from California, where coronavirus restrictions still do not allow events of this scale. They don't allow any events, by the way, not of a scale, no events. The specter of a global pandemic hung over the field, so there was a different look and a feel to the event, a reminder of an invisible threat. Is it an invisible threat? Same as the flu. That's a threat. Life's a threat. You know what's a threat? You, from eating McDonald's every day and not exercising. That's a threat. We got to pay for your freaking heart surgery because you cannot stop eating McDonald's. You know who you are. Reading on, the tournament host, Arizona Arsenal Soccer Club, informed participating teams in advance that they would be required to follow COVID-19 safety guidelines recommended by the Arizona Soccer Association and Center for Disease Control. Coaches and team administrators passed the information to parents and players, and the AASC posted the guidelines on the tournament website. Upon check-in, the AASC required each team to sign a letter of compliance before they were allowed to take the field, in addition to the standard field markings. Spaces between field at Desert Sky Park and Gilbert were carefully measured and chalked and with circles to encourage spectators to remain physically distant. Tournament organizer placed benches for the coaches and players on one side of the field, while parents watching their kids compete with the opposite sidelines. Guidelines prohibited intermingling of spectators and players during matches. Tournaments regulations discourage handshaking, celebrating hugs, and even coin tosses. Ooh, that's going to keep us all safe. We'll never get the virus if we follow those protocols. Signs informed spectators that certain areas of the sport complex were designated exclusively for players, coaches, and tournament staff, because they'll get together, they'll get the virus, and they'll go back into their cars and they'll spread it over there. Yeah, that's good. But if we all get together, mixing everybody together, it's going to, make the virus not happen. I don't know. None of this makes sense. Look at those trophies for the ones on my YouTube channel. Doing it for the kids. As president of AASC, George Borger played a major role in organizing and hosting the Arsenal Challenge, by far the largest home event on the club's annual calendar, especially this one. It was packed. You could not get in, like the elite divisions. It was packed. Like it was extremely hard to get in, just 'cause everyone wanted to play because they were denied playing for 6 months. Over the past 6 months, amid the pandemic, running the club and organizing the tournament presented huge challenges for Borger and the AASC. We do it because we love the club, we take pride in the club, and obviously we do it for our kids, Borger said. Even if things aren't totally back to normal, they're getting back to normal, and the kids are back to the playing soccer, and that makes all of us very happy. It does, because we want normal, not new normal. We want normal. This year's tournament drew 459 teams, including 152 from out of state. Borger said that's more teams than usual came from states like California, of course, a migration many clubs, sports in Arizona have witnessed because of looser restrictions here. 10 sites across the valley hosted a total of 732 games during the 3-day competition. This is unacceptable. They spread the disease everywhere. California came over here with their lockdown restrictions, which we're hearing that it's dangerous to be locked down because it spreads more, maybe, hypothetically, I think. Who knows? Just an opinion, of a hypothetical opinion. 10 sites across the valley hosted a total of 732 games during the 3-day competition, with thousands of kids and their families, plus administrators and spectators, coveraging on fields around the valley. Enforcing safety protocols became a major concern. They were enforcing it. They were enforcing it with a stick. Just slapping people. Do what you're told. Do what you're told. None of that happened, by the way. Our number one priority, COVID or no COVID, is to keep our kids safe, Borger said. Number two priority is getting our kids back to playing soccer. The third priority has the convenience to our parents. The parents had to make some sacrifices. Those sacrifices including wearing a mask that don't work, hypothetically don't work, using hand sanitizer. I do it because I'm a germaphobe. Physically distancing and watching the game while remaining much further from the on-field action than normal. What's the point? It's airborne. It's going to get us all. City of Mesa protocols forbade non-participants from entering facilities during competition. I like this one. So I take my son to play a game in Mesa, and we weren't allowed in because that's going to keep everyone safe. So we hovered around the fence because we weren't allowed in, and it was just packed. All they're doing is migrating the infection spreading just 30 feet. That's it. And it was if anything, it was protecting the mental safety of the children getting yelled at. But you know what? Parents were still screaming through the fence. The kids were still being destroyed. The mental side was still there. We're just destroying kids. One scream after another. And it's always fun being, push and squeeze with a bunch of people you don't know. And there was, that's safety. We're all safe because we pushed everyone into corners, forcing them tighter together. That's what happened. City of Mesa protocols forbade non-participants from entering the facilities during competition, which left many parents watching the kids' game from their surrounding desert or from an adjacent parking lot. Despite the inconvenience, spectators were, for the most part, very cooperative, Borger said. They were very polite. Mask wearing requirements presented the greatest challenge for those tasked with enforcing safety protocols. There were a few instances of people talking back and arguing with us, but nothing that really got escalated. And even those instances were isolated, Borger said. We had an army of volunteers, what we would call the field marshals. It was their responsibility to help promote people to be in compliance. So they didn't get shut down because we have those onlookers wanting to shut people down. You got it. That's what their job is to be a Karen and complain. Borger felt that more than anything else, effective communication allowed the AASC to conduct a safe tournament that minimized health risks to all attendees and participants. From the planning stages to the final match, I think that we did as good of a job as we could have done communicating our policy, Borger said. I'm not sure we could have done a better job or been more effective at it. And it's, all the teams from California, they came in beaten down by California. They came in to be compliant because they are just scared not to ever play sports again because that's kind of the situation they're in. They're just grateful to be able to play. And for the ones watching on my YouTube channel, look at the quarter flag placement. It doesn't go on it goes at the corner, not in the middle of the 2 points that meet from the end line and the sideline. So I don't understand that. That's one of my pet peeves. Put it on the very edge of the corner, not on the field of play, on the middle of the paint line. Anyways, that's a pet peeve of mine for the ones watching on my YouTube channel / Coach Cameron Soccer. No surprises. Brent Irwin serves as executive director for another youth soccer club in the Valley, Real Salt Lake AZ, and told Cronkite News in a recent interview that this club implemented COVID-19 safety protocols when play resumed in August. The club has seen good cooperation from most involved, and the efforts has been successful so far. I think we're the biggest youth sports organization in Arizona, Irwin said. Within our own club, there has not been one case of community spread of COVID through soccer. Well, we don't know. We don't know anything. And I don't know how they track these things. I got it at soccer practice. Real Salt Lake is the biggest youth sports organization in Arizona. I think it is, but I'd rather call it the biggest uniform supplier. Because all they did is take a bunch of clubs, say, hey, where are our uniforms? Buy our uniforms. And, okay, look, they're the biggest uniform supplier. That's it. It's not like a real club that they, organize. They're all segmented. They're sharing pricing or something like that. But they sell uniforms. That's it. They sell well. But, yeah, on my son's Excel spreadsheet, it's RSL. You keep playing the same team. No, that's RSL East. That's RSL West. That's RSL Anthem. This is RSL whatever. Just a bunch of clubs that just merged in to help each other with sharing players. It helps smaller clubs. So I like the thought process, but I still like to call it a uniform supply company. That's what it is. It's not like they're really governing everything. Everyone just does their own thing. They just give them a place to be in a cool uniform. Look, we're RSL. People will join if you wear RSL because they're MLS. Major League Soccer. Speaking of RSL, sidetrack, and this is an important sidetrack. What would happen if the Rising, who has their own youth component, if the Rising purchased the rights to Salt Lake and they moved it to Arizona and they called it Phoenix Rising? Would the RSL uniform company have to switch? That's an interesting note for all my Arizona listeners. Would RSL, the largest soccer club in Arizona, if RSL becomes Phoenix Rising because Phoenix Rising purchases them, do you have to change your uniform company to be Phoenix Rising? Do you guys lose jobs? That's a complicated question. We need to know more about that. I should get hold of Brent Irwin and ask him. We need to know what happens if that's a situation. Could happen. According to Irwin, implementation can be a complex process for the club like this. Clubs, leagues, cities, and families all have different roles and responsibilities in the process, and they may have significantly different attitudes about how to implement COVID-19 safety protocols. As a result, observance and enforcement of protocols can vary significantly from day to day, event to event, and location to location. Despite the complexities, Irwin said the compliance that I have seen, not only within our club but statewide, has actually been fairly good, and I think it's shown by the lack of transmission. I think the transmission, it just doesn't happen outside, but the temperature has now changed. Last night at practice, it was freezing. Here's a compliance in Phoenix, by the way. You enter the complex, they're like, "You got your mask?" "Yeah." "Okay." And then you just take it off and you're in. You know, it's just, you got to have your mask on for like 15 feet. It's just kind of like walk through the entrance. "Got your mask?" "Yeah." And then you take it off. So last night I was very compliant because it was so flipping cold, Arizona cold anyways, that the mask was actually helping. So I'm going to keep my mask on because it is cold. It's a cold mother. Anyways, by and large, the families understand that it's serious, and I think they're taking care of the thing before they even get to the field. Irwin's. All right, the real news, my friends, the real news is this. The reason we follow the protocols, because the crazy liberals they want to ruin your life. They want to take everything from you. They're just angry people. I'm not saying liberals, because I'm a bit liberal. The crazy liberals, and then you have the crazy right wings. You got the crazy righties, and you have the crazy lefties. Well, right now the crazy lefties are in full engagement right now, and they're watching. And if you're not compliant according to the rules that do not make sense, you will be punished, and they'll take everything away from you, and they're going to love it because they love forcing control on people. And that's how humans operate, right? We do really good when people tell you what to do. That's just how we roll. Yeah, we won't fight back. There won't be a civil war. There won't be murder or anything like that. That's never happened in the past. Maybe it has. I don't know. It's like raising my children. I've never been successful making them do things. Just do this. Yeah, they're going to be resentful, and they're going to hate you for a lifetime. It doesn't work, ladies and gentlemen. Reading on. RSL AZ began proactively communicating with the families about COVID-19 protocols during the club online training session in July. They're just way advanced. The club followed up by making an educational video and creating a weekly newsletter to share information with family. Well, they got to do something. You get paid. I think that's that we've done a good job as far as the family showing up. It's not a surprise, they're not surprised by what is being asked of them, Irwin said. My feelings is if you understand what's coming and why it's happening, it's much easier to comply. I don't like that word, comply, Brent. We don't understand half the things going on. Dr. Fauci, don't wear a mask. Wear a mask. Masks don't work. Oh, they do work. If everyone wore a mask, I mean, we can't get the good information. There's no good information. We get stupid information repeatedly, and that makes us a little not as compliant as one would think. I really do feel like they have been on the front foot with it. This, Irwin said. I can't think of one time that we've called the Arizona Soccer Association and they haven't been willing to answer a question or help. Irwin, of course they do. ASA has like 52 full-time staff. They should better answer those frickin' phones and make up answers for us. Irwin said cities such as Mesa and Tucson have also played their part by modifying access to the facility. Yeah, I was in Tucson last Sunday. Freak. I snuck in. I got in. They won't let you in. I didn't sneak in. I was a college guy. I'm a college recruiter, and I went recruiting. And I got in, and I watched my son play. But, yeah, it's goofy. And, yeah, all the families are behind. The thing is, it would have been safer if everyone was allowed to be on the field, spread out, the fields, versus packed around the fence lines. They limited the space. They're just spreading the disease that's going to kill us all, apparently, in other places. Like California. Shut it down. They come to Arizona. They come to Idaho. They come to Texas. They come to the West. They're spreading there. You can't stop the spread. Can't. People won't be locked up. And these are Democrats, Republicans, everybody. You can't stop. They're not gonna stop. They're not gonna stop. I was recruiting on Sunday. I was at Campo Verde High School, California team, Patty Adores playing Easton Event against Gilbert Arsenal. You can't stop. They're going to play. They're going to watch, and people are in the stands. And we're social distancing. Yeah, like, hey, hi. I haven't seen you. Well, give me a hug. Okay. Yeah. Confusing times. We're trying to create an appearance of safety. It's not safe. It's not safe. Life's not safe. You know what's safe? Take control of your life. Actually do some things that can help it. Drink a blended up drink like this one. This is disgusting, but it's healthy. And it's bitter. A lot of bananas and stuff in there. You ever put what I put in that thing? I forget. A lot of crap. But I put the basics of strawberries, bananas, frozen pineapple, and kiwi. That's what's the bitter taste. Anyways, yeah, take control of your own freaking health. Because wearing a mask and trying to stay safe, humans don't operate that way. You're going to be in contact. I like this whole thing. I keep sidetracking. What a wasted podcast. And I apologize. Anyone even got to this point, listen to my podcast, because I just ramble stupidly. I love it because I don't have to have people of the church to my house. Because, Mormons, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, they want to get in your house all the time. Well, they can't come in. We got COVID. So that's good. And church is down to 1 hour. Like I'm in heaven. So, anyways, less is more, in my opinion. Reading on, scrolling down. According to Irwin, RSLAZ prefers to err on the side of caution if there is any gray area or confusion about local safety protocols. We take on the responsibility to go above and beyond what the city requires to make sure we're meeting our own standards and make sure we're meeting the standards of the state, Irwin said. As long as his club continues adhering to those standards, Irwin has no major concerns for the safety of parents or players attending RSL-AZ matches. We just can't get complacent, Irwin said. Complacency is now what I'm fighting against. Yeah, look at this. For the ones on my YouTube channel, players and coaches, staff only beyond this point. We will spread the disease differently. You go over there and compact yourself with all the other parents and don't evenly spread out. Just go spread the disease over there. That's what we're doing. Remaining diligent. Paul Taylor, Phoenix Rising FC Youth Soccer Girls ECNL Director. Oh my gosh, that's a mouthful. Also expressed concern about increased complacency and possibly decline in compliance with COVID-19 safety protocols at Valley Youth Soccer matches. When play first resumed in August, Taylor graded compliance at matches he attended as an A+. Since then, he said that He has observed compliance slipping, in some cases low enough to warrant a C grade. I love Paul. See, Paul Taylor is honest. He's telling you the truth. C plus. I give it a D. But so Paul Taylor is anchoring the story to be some. Brent Irwin was smart. He's being political and say whatever the reporter didn't want to hear because he needs a story. And here comes the story. The different venues in different cities have their own protocols in place, and that throws into a little bit of disarray, Taylor said. Now, Paul Taylor, come on, man. I love you, man. I love how this guy's a brilliant coach. Just smart. But telling the truth to the media is like the worst thing ever. So he's telling the truth, and this is where we're going to go. Some of the PRFCYS matches fall outside the jurisdiction of the ASA, so clubs cannot rely on the ASA to assist them with implementing safety protocols at these events. Coaches sometimes bear the responsibility of policy or policing the behavior of spectators at matches, which, by the way, coaches should always police the spectators. Deal with those parents. Shut them up if they just are behaving stupidly. Fight. Get uncomfortable with yelling at these parents. You need to do that all day, with the mask or without. Taylor explained that sometimes their responsibility is just too much for a coach already tasked with managing a team and winning a match. See, winning must happen at all youth levels. As a result, responsibility to complying with safety protocols may fall on the spectators, who essentially have to police themselves. Like AASC and the RSLAZ, PRFCYS has used. Listen to what I just said. I'll repeat. This is soccer. It's nothing but acronyms. AASC and RSL-AZ and PRFCYS has used video and newsletters to communicate with its members and educate them about COVID-19 safety protocols. And according to Taylor, reactions from parents have been very good. Taylor explained that confusion and frustration can occur when a group of parents and players grow accustomed to safety protocols at one sporting facility or city, then travel to a different facility where they're encountered a whole different set of safety guidelines. I experience that all the time. I remember I had my mask on and I was going to where was I? I was going to the store. Anyways, as soon as I entered, it was hovering the brim of my nose, and the guy said, "Sir, pull that above your nose," and I was like, I wanted to fight him. Immediate anger. I didn't. I had self-control, but I wanted to punch him in the face. I'm like, "You mother freaker!" It's going through the sides. My mask is a piece of crap mask too. Wasn't working. I need to wash it. Taylor would like to see greater oversight, possibly from a state governing body such as the ASA, to help resolve these inconsistencies and remove the gray areas that complicate safety protocol enforcement. Okay. I'd like to everyone just kind of assume the role of govern yourself. That's it. That's what needs to happen. They've gone through a tough thing. Coaches and administrators at Valley Youth Soccer Clubs seem to agree that getting their young players back out of the field is critical, especially to the mental health of the athletes. However, they also agree that returning to play should progress under the safest circumstances possible. We all understand the importance of getting kids back out there just for the mental health side of it, and just being able to socialize somewhat with teammates because they've gone through a tough thing, as we all have, Taylor said. Yep. But we have Fortnite. Paul, we got Fortnite, so we'll be okay. Said Irwin, we're on the front line of providing kids an outlet that they love to give them some sense of normal life at the time when their entire lives have been turned upside down. On remaining vigilant about the danger of COVID-19 as kids return to play, Borger said, we don't want to be the reason why we have an outbreak. I don't want that to be on my watch. No way. No way, Jose. So I'll do whatever I need to do to make sure that doesn't happen. End of story. Aaron Bradley James. All right, let me give you give you some feedback, Aaron. Aaron, when you're trying to do a story and you want to just stick them and you want to nail them for for not being proper so you can make it a bigger story so it can get on CNN. You need to talk about the C level that was talked about, Paul Taylor. It went from A to C. What's going on? The title got me like, oh my gosh, people are breaking the rules. We all know what we're doing. Protocols aren't being met. We just don't know enough about the virus. I think that's a situation we're in. So we just don't know enough. But it was a safe article. At least he didn't go and try to make it bigger than it was. It isn't, Arizona is open. Why? It's not because of protocols or anything like that. It's because we're governed by a Republican governor. We have more freedom seekers here in Arizona than we do of the nut jobs in California that want to just take everything away and tell you how many people can come over for Thanksgiving kind of thing, Yeah, that's what's going on. And this is Coach Cameron. That's the end of my rant and my story, and I apologize. And anyone was listening, if any of you listened for 31 minutes of my horribleness, email me. Let me know you listened for 31 minutes, and I will send you a shirt because I doubt anyone could listen to this ramble. Peace.